Album rollouts. These things are crazy. They're what artists do or not do to get you amped for an album. The time between album reveal to you having it in your hands is unmatched hype. From Instagram posts, billboards, to whatever this is, there's many ways artists can shove their record in your face. But what are some crazy ones? Has anyone ever done something illegal or something? Have they gone terribly wrong? Of course they have! And trust me, they get bad. So in this video, we're going into the abyss of the rollout to see just how crazy it gets. And if at any point you end up enjoying this video, then just punch that subscribe button for me. It would mean a ton. Anyways, let's get into this. Enjoy! Listen, I can hear you now, your little fingertips tip-tapping at your keyboards going, Nathan said I already did this video. Shut up! Alright, just shut. You don't think I know that? But see, that's where things differ, because unlike anyone else doing this, Nathan actually gave me his personal blessing. See, way back when I posted my first 30-second video, he actually commented saying he thought it was really funny. But detectives take note, because what he actually said was, hey Bites, this is peak comedy. I love it. And if you want to do your own album rollout video in the future, you totally can. I'm sure that's what he meant. It's a YouTuber thing. For the first time in your life, you as a listener get to sit back and watch as artists dance for your attention. What is this power? Getting people interested in something is hard to do, especially if it's out already. Now do it before it even exists. Welcome to the album rollout. The thing, for all intensive purposes, is the label-funded way of getting you amped for some new audio files. Christmas came early. It's a time when an artist can show their skills, not just as a musician, but as a multi-level media creative, doing random things or pulling out all the stops to drive up hype for their new release. From the early 2000s to now, these things have changed so much, and artists all around use the rollout to showcase cool ideas they have, or give fans a once-in-a-lifetime experience, or no experience. They can do billboards, posters around town, websites online, be pregnant, all this to hype up a release, bringing everyone along for the ride. Because all this is just to get an album out. Once it's out, that's it. The thing you waited so long for? Here you go. There's lots of ways an artist can do this. Some artists do big things to promote their stuff, like 2 Chainz created a whole trap house for his album that you could actually go to and walk around in. Or just keep it consistent, like what Kendrick does, releasing a new entry in his The Heart series, spewing out his current state of mind before an album comes out. He could talk about him not getting his nuggets at Wendy's and I'd still be like, oh my god, he's spitting. I really like listening events, artists streaming the album live with fans, or even letting peeps stream it early. Electronic artists Daft Punk and Jamie XX did this a while ago, letting fans listen to their albums for free early on sites like iTunes, the full thing as one long song. I was actually there for that Daft Dudes event. It was so cool. Or how about this rock band, Manchester Orchestra, who did a live stream on YouTube performing their latest album in full, and throughout the stream would subtly tease a new record, unveiling it at the end. This stuff gets me so pumped, man. I feel like Joe Budden 2003 edition. Seeing an artist just pop out of the woods with some random cryptic shit, I know I'm in for a good time. Travis started teasing his 3rd album before he even released his 2nd, and Kanye laid out 4 albums before he even had 1. And every time he'd drop, he'd go Corman Blue Musical High School. Donda and the Life of Pablo listening events. Life of Pablo in particular was pretty messy, but whatever. To Yeezus shoving his face onto buildings. Ugh, I'm trying to sleep, dude. Did you know that Frank Ocean finessed his record label with the fake project? Guys, I don't think you know about this. Yes, we know about the Frank thing. It's common knowledge now. I'm sure label execs put that in their training video so it doesn't happen again. I feel like Endless got a bad rap, not so much nowadays. I actually liked it a little more than Blonde when they first released, and I tell you to go listen to it, but you can't. It's not on streaming. And sorry, there are no websites or services on the internet that'll let you listen or even download this thing in full. None at all. Jay-Z is one I don't hear mentioned a lot. He had his Black album, which was touted as his final album ever.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Then he kind of did something a little controversial with his 12th record, Magna Carta Holy Grail. Funny, this is actually my first Jay-Z album, eh? He saw that contract and he wanted to paint it black, as he made a deal with Samsung to ship the album with their phones at the time. Samsung prematurely buying 1 million copies of the album before it was even out, essentially forcing it to go platinum. Oh my god. People naturally said, wait, that's cheating. And he said, you're right. and did it again with Sprint for the next one. But to be fair, he did have these billboards around town, and I like that album, so I let it slide. Cause that's the worst, right? If you're gonna finesse the system, at least make the music good. But man, some of you guys just dropped the ball on your rollouts, huh? Drake, I love you, but I won't forgive you for that certified boy lover fiasco. Like, it started clean. He unveiled the logo, sent care packages to his friends. There were trucks around my town. That video with the covers, like, this was supposed to be good, and you know what he did? Emoji. Lil Uzi's eternal take, like delaying the album and getting sued by the 2 surviving members of a death cult? That's crazy. Almost as crazy as Apple giving away a free album 500 million times. Yup, who could forget Apple shilling their love for Irish rock right in your face that you couldn't delete? And if you did, just sync your phone again, buddy, I dare you. U2's Songs of Innocence included with every iTunes account. Bono, the lead member, later calling it a quote, drop of a megalomania, a touch of generosity. More like a touch of degenerosity. That thing infected my iPod for like 3 years. And you know what the best part is? It was mid. Like I said, guys, exploit the system equals music good. Wow, a mega corporation shoving an album down your throat. Thankfully, we all learned from this, so this would never happen again. Wait, what? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. And thank God that 3 split didn't catch on. If you didn't see, around 2018, artists were separating their albums into EPs, releasing it throughout the year. Denzel Curry and Kevin Abstract from Brockhampton did this. The projects weren't even bad, just it's not a group assignment. You guys don't have to split the work. One of my personal faves is when an artist adopts a new persona, not to be confused with the game, more like an alter ego, especially not one of those rant-sonas. Who the hell would have one of those? Those guys. This is when an artist makes a tie-in character for the new album, mainly if it's a concept album with a story or something. They have that new character plastered on everything, then abandon them next project. Tyler did it famously with his Igor character for his Igor album, all the pins and bumper stickers, and way back when David Bowie was doing his whole career off of it, creating personas like Ziggy Stardust and Aladdin Sane. And if you've been around any music blogger in the last 5 years, I'm sure you've heard them slip in Donald Glover's Because the Internet, like I wouldn't notice. Doing his own ARG, going around as the boy, crossing his legs like he's sitting down for story time at school. I liked it. I'm also proud to say that I was there during the rollout of this thing too. But let me tell you, it wasn't as smooth as people think it was. Cause with this came mandatory screenplay, short films, websites to go to, even carried into live shows. Like, I like puzzle problems, and there is some cool stuff here, right? Now you can look back and appreciate it. But at the time, it didn't land well, as, surprise, that's a lot of things to keep track of for one album. And most fans, unsurprisingly, didn't want to do all that. And then he did it again. You could take this a step further by having one character or set of characters that changed throughout the years, separating works into different eras. Like The Weeknd's got this on point. Look at him. He was young, then the pineapple, then he shaved. Like, that was huge. There was the After Hours and Dawn FM stunts. Like, he was fine, then appearing at events covered in blood. Peeps were asking who beat him up, only to uncover that it was all plastic surgery leading up to the Save Your Tears video and unveiled this abomination. I love this shit because it helps to separate the music clearly into different times. They look like this is from this. Now eventually, someone had to see all of this and go, man, that's a lot of work. How about we just don't? Story of my life. The infamous No Rollout, aka the surprise drop, as made famous by this gem of a record. They asked Beyonce where we're dropping and she pushed them out the plane.
Ride with the mob.
Drizzy saw it and said, I bet, and dropped his amazing record. Then everyone saw it and went, I bet. And now we're in the era of you might get a rollout or you'll get a jump scare. Choose wisely. Tons of peeps are doing this, and I find it goes both ways. Either it's super hype and feels right, or it just comes across as lazy. But how about one of the first to do it? That being Radiohead's rock album In Rainbows back in 2007. It was announced without any singles, just a post on a blog that also announced it was coming out in a week, and you can pay whatever you want. And this was well before sites like Bandcamp. The idea of pay what you want, especially for an act as huge as Radio Bread, it was so big big, people even got worried this would become a trend, screwing over small artists, like labels would just put your music out for free. I don't think it got that bad, but pay what you want obviously rose up. Imagine releasing a free song and making a career off it. That could never happen. But in all seriousness, here's something to think about, and I don't see many peeps mention it. And it's about how album rollouts have changed with the times. It's still the same in ways like ads, appearances and things, the usual stuff. But with the internet, people have switched to these conventional ways to like really out there stuff. You can bank heavy on doing something viral and the word of mouth carrying it around. Like back in the day, you'd see artists on like MTV or in magazines a lot. A lot of the time, that's how you found out about a new project in like XXL or The Source or Rolling Stone. But as much as rollouts have changed, I honestly feel really lucky to live in a time where we can see people do these crazy ideas to release a project or just slap it out there. Like a surprise drop with everyone talking about it the next day is only possible now. Isn't that crazy? Album rollouts are pretty baller. Unless you're Lana, who went a whole year between single and release. Or the Carters, it was a title exclusive for a little bit, then to premium music members, then to free ones. Or Auntie, she couldn't decide the single, then just dropped it on a weekday. Actually, scrap that. I hate album rollouts.
Package for Mr. Bites?
An album rollout release party? Wait, this isn't an album release party. It's a party to start their rollout for their album. This is so stupid. Why would anybody do this? Free Dr. Perky! Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. And hey man, you know whose party this is? Big D!